How is it now then? What is your take on it now?
It's so much better now because we're at a place that models great teams, great leadership, great training. You guys have amazing resources here in Iron Valley. Shout out.
Thank you.
Whereas before, it was like we were on an island trying to figure out everything from
virtual world?
scratch.
Yeah.
Like I tell the girls this, I'm like, if you talk to and be around the people that are doing the things that you want to be doing.
Yes.
Right. And at that point, the people that we were with, while we loved them
That's
and they were
it.
successful, they were successful solo agents. So what were we really trying to model after?
Right.
You know, so we want to be a successful team, we need to be around other successful teams.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
All right, welcome to another episode of Your Peak Life podcast. Today we're being visited by two young ladies, Imani Santos and Gina Shores. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Yes.
Against our will.
All right.
Just kidding.
What's the name of your team?
Yo,
The next level.
I'm done
real
with
estate
Gina
team.
already. I can't. You can't,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't take her anywhere.
You know what they
this
said?
is out of control.
You know what they
Okay.
said? They're like, we don't even know Mike knows our names.
Of course I do. That's
I was
not
like,
true.
Mike knows everybody.
I came to your open house. That was my idea.
Yes. But I mean, it's not like my name was outside. Or wait,
No,
was it?
but
Yes,
you're.
it was. It was on
I know
sale.
everybody's name.
Someone who tracks data knows one of his best agents. Period.
Yeah, I
There
know.
you go.
everything.
Say it
You
again.
know, was
Someone
it?
who tracks data knows one of his top agents.
Oh yeah, that's
Exactly.
very true. I actually know that you're number 3 at Iron Valley Real Estate Prestige right
Ooh,
now.
with the number.
Yeah.
See, 'cause
I could also break it down to the commissions.
Oh, my word.
Gross commissions, net
Ooh.
commission.
Tasty.
I study all of you like a freak.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
I've come a long way in a short amount of time.
Your video marketing is great.
Thanks.
I actually enjoy it. Yeah,
It
I
is
watch
really
everybody's videos too. Like, I know people are like, isn't he busy? No, I'm not that busy. Like, I mean, I am, but I'm not. You know.
I was gonna say that was an
I was gonna say, I
interesting
feel like you're
admit.
everywhere. Just literally everywhere. Like, how do you have time to do anything? I was so shocked to run into you in the airport. I was like,
Yeah, that's
what?
yo,
That
you
was
did.
traveling.
Yeah,
yeah.
she saw
That was
Evie and I.
cute.
We
Yeah.
were headed to Florida.
she's so
Oh,
cute.
okay.
She's so tiny.
That's right.
Aw.
She's so cute.
Wait, his wife is tiny?
Have you guys been to Gringos yet?
Yes.
I
When
have
you
not.
posted that, I was like, that's like my mom's favorite place. She's always like, you want to go to Gringos?
Well, yeah,
Got
that's
it.
my wife. It's fire.
It is
Please
fire.
keep going.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know,
The Gringos.
Shout out to Gringos.
Well,
for sure.
Let me start. Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Virginia Beach. Born and raised here. I have a huge family. I'm half black, half Filipino. My entire Filipino side is here. So like, I'll host Thanksgiving and it'll be like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You know my family. There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of us. Went to Salem High School for the Visual and Performing Arts Academy. Went for acting and for vocal music. And then I went to school in New York. So I lived in Brooklyn Heights, and I went to school in Manhattan, like 14th Street, 7th Ave for film acting.
Okay.
At the time, I was just started dating my now husband. Thank God I can say now husband, because year in, I missed him so much. I came back home just for him to leave me to go to the Army.
Right.
Got married really young at like 20. I have 2 beautiful kids with him, and yeah, I've been doing real estate for 6 years.
Well, I have questions now.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, so you're the one that's supposed to be out speaking? Is that what I'm hearing? You have all these skills. Like, how did you transition from acting and theatrics and all this to now you do real estate and your mom and wife? Like, where did...
The first time I thought about it, so he was stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I was a manager at a clothing store in Tennessee. And so I was like one of the assistant managers, or like, you know, lower key holder managers or whatever. And the store manager, she was telling me how she was in real estate school. And for whatever reason, I don't know why that always sticks with me, but it does. When she mentioned it, and all of a sudden, I'd never considered it before, but when she mentioned it, I kept thinking about it. Now, I didn't get my license till years after that, because once I came back here and I worked for AT&T for about 4 or 5 years, that's when my husband and I bought our first house. We were like 22, 23, and a good family friend of ours Matthew Obanos, who's actually on the Wilkie Extreme team over at Rose and Womble, Berkshire Hathaway. Is that
Yeah, they
All of
merged.
that.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
He helped us buy our house, and he had said to me, I think you'd be really good at this. And again, that like stuck with me. And again, I didn't get my license for another few years after that. But it always stuck with me when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because while AT&T was great money-wise, Jessica Lewis actually used to work at AT&T, and that's how actually how I knew her before this. We never worked together.
Well,
so
I
we
guess
didn't
that
know
was
each
kind of
other.
like my question. Like, did you have aspirations of acting or
yes,
you know-
I wanted to be on Disney Channel.
okay.
It's
I
like,
was
yes,
just trying
Mike,
to-
she moved to
I was
New
just trying to
York.
put together this, the travel and the
side.
education,
It's a long
you know.
story. I did theater all through middle school and all through high school, and I am a quiet person, but also not a quiet person, and I really do like performing, but I also really like the backstage stuff.
Yeah, because that's to perform in front of some strangers. That takes some
I will
guts.
say that's actually really helpful, because AT&T was sales, so going from
Right.
acting to
Okay.
sales was
There-
actually pretty
there we
easy.
go.
Because even when I was in New York, I did sales there, so that was when I started sales. I did
Well,
pizza packets.
that's what hit for me. We were just in New York for a real estate
Mm-hmm.
conference in Manhattan, and that's how Sirhan started. You know, he was a
He wanted to
hand
be
model
a-
at some
yep.
point, and then in theater and stuff. So it's like, why does that spill over so heavily into what we do now? And you're kind of telling us that.
Yeah,
so
is it that,
was-
we talk about, like, when I was in, which, gosh, nobody listening to this joke me, but I remember taking a Meisner class in college, and it's very much so about, that natural kind of acting where you're, like, just taking what the other person is giving you and reacting in a very natural way.
Yeah.
And I feel like whenever I entered sales, whether it was pizza packets or phones or real estate, it's easy to be adaptable, and that's essentially what that is. And I think that's what makes it a little easier for me, because I know, like, we'll talk about leads, and leads aren't easy at all, but something that makes it easier is the ability to kind of
connect.
and
Absolutely.
adapt to whoever you're talking to.
I would agree.
And when you got licensed, 2020?
2018?
Oh, it's 2018. Damn.
I did nothing with it
I
for
just
a year.
remember. So, my daughter was in kickboxing class, right, with your uncle,
Yes.
and then her mom was in there all the time. And she knows I'm doing real
I remember
estate.
this.
My daughter's licensed now. You know.
Aw, that's
So this is
cute.
really how you all.
I
end up-
I didn't physically meet her then until
Oh.
later.
Never.
I was always talking to her mom and her uncle and all that.
It's
stuff.
funny because that's also like what I talk about, like how when my manager talked about it, and I remember that, and then Obanos mentioned it, and I remembered it. My mom coming to me and saying, "Hey, there's this guy at Thai, and he, does real estate. He's saying you should come over, to his brokerage, because I forgot where you were at, but you were at 100%
Shout out to
brokerage."
It was at James and Lee.
Yeah.
Shout out to Edgar.
And I was
Edgar
he was-
been recruiting.
I had just started a team.
Yeah, I
also,
love
so-
it. I
He's
love
like,
it.
she'll make way more money. And I remember at that point, I'm still a very loyal person, but I was very loyal, and I was still learning. So I was like, no, I don't want to
You know
move.
what I did? And I love
You
your
know?
mom. I love your mom. She's super nice. And I was just like, I had just got it. You get the breakdown, the W-2, and then you get all the sales. I was like, look, here.
I remember that too.
You gave that to her
She
mom?
did. She did.
I'm like, this is for real.
Dang.
I
This
I was
is
like,
real.
This is for
I'm gonna
real.
change your daughter's life. Let's go.
That's yeah.
I had it in my pocket
I
that
love
day.
it.
Like,
That's
Always be
great.
closing.
But I
I
do
love
think
it.
about that because I
That's-
think about
that's
when
dope.
we finally came over to Iron Valley. Because I was like, this was like meant, those moments where you're like, this was shaping me to eventually
Yeah.
circle
Yeah.
back to here to eventually work with him. So I definitely think about that. I was like, I remember that moment.
yeah, so you
Well.
wasted all these years. So
Well, I just
Imani,
learned so much. Now we're gonna move on. No, I'm just kidding. But
Not
because
the
then there's a
call-out.
story of like how you two come together at some
Yeah,
juncture,
where you
That's
right?
true.
So-
What if she
so-
just didn't do that?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be here.
That she does not matter.
And I'm her favorite
Skip
person.
that person.
And I'm her favorite person.
There is a lot of
Well, hold on.
questions.
Where are you from? Well, tell us about yourself.
Oh Lord.
Gina.
Well, I'm originally from Cartersville, Virginia.
Cartersville. Why does your
Oh,
voice
you
change?
always- Say it
Because
like
you
that.
have to know how podunk it is right away,
Okay.
off the bat.
I did immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
No stoplights, like super small town. I think there's 2 gas stations. Everybody knows each other, and it's really cute. It's endearing in a lot of ways. But I am glad that my mom and I got up out of there. Like
Came out to the city.
Yeah, for sure. Cool thing that also came out of that. So my parents split. when I was in 4th grade.
That's the cool thing.
Or 3rd
Gotcha.
grade. No. Everything
I mean,
happens
you
for a
said it that
reason.
way.
It does. It does.
Sorry, Dad. My mother also lost her dad at the same time, right? So hard time. Definitely a hard time.
Yep.
But like my mom scooped up my grandma from Richmond from a house that she's been in, like, you know, since the down payment was $100. And the 3 of us moved to Virginia Beach to lick our wounds, right? And I got to grow up with my grandma in the house for like almost 2 decades.
That's great.
She was like 80. Okay, so 1 decade. She was like 87. And when we moved here and I was 8 years old, I was in 3rd going into 4th grade. And oh my God, my grandma was my best friend. Like, it was amazing growing up with 3 generations of women in the house. And my mom crushed it, like being a single mom. So that has a lot to do with why I'm like new school, but also still a lot of old school. You know, I love jazz. I love like really silly, like old country lady idioms,
Right.
stuff like that. But moving here, I think I'm just so glad. Like, looking back at all the kids that I went to elementary school with, it's like they're like, you know, they're niche down in their personalities.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like I got to come here and expand and like, you know, be all of who I am. So like my dad's super country man and like my mom's a super hippie woman. So how they ever got together in the first place, I have no idea. But somehow that created a nice, well-rounded child. And here I am.
What were you doing before real estate? I mean, what led you up to?
So I was in the restaurant industry basically since 15 and a half.
Again,
Another
yeah.
one.
Yeah, I know. It's
Seriously,
heavy.
the service industry is like, when they come to real estate, they kill it.
I know. Well, I shouldn't say no. Agreed.
Well, you do know because you're doing it, right?
Yes. And I knew some that had left and gone. But you know how they say like real estate isn't always your plan A? For most people, it's plan B.
Yep.
So I was in college, like, you know, TCC, nothing crazy, but half in, half still working a lot, like living on my own since I've been 18, whatever. And I was going to school towards like a science degree. And I thought I wanted to be like a naturopathic doctor. And I wanted to do the hippie thing and, you know, Western medicine's terrible, whatever.
Okay.
But there's no, like, you can't just have like that type of doctorate or certification on the East Coast. You have to like couple it with something and then you can practice. So I was like, all right, I'll go be a chiropractor. Well, all the schools are like, again, like middle of America or West Coast or whatever. And my husband's whole family is here. And I've been with my man since 10th grade, right?
Damn. Okay.
We've been married since 2021. We're both have high school sweethearts. And I was like, I mean, he's not moving, so I'm not moving. If I didn't go with my mom to California when I was 18, I'm not moving now. So I was kind of in limbo, like going to school for fun, taking calculus for fun, you know, like playing.
What did you just say?
Yeah.
Taking calculus for fun. That's not even a sentence.
I
That's
love
crazy.
math. I'm rusty now. Don't test me. But but I am really nerdy. I like to learn. But I was tired of like the bar scene. I switched from, you know, late night bartending at Keegan's and then went to brunch bartending, figured the scene would be different enough. Sure wasn't. And Casey's older cousin, was killing it in real estate. And I was like, you don't need schooling for that. I don't need to keep wasting money on school. So I met with her. Yeah. So I met with her and she saw something in me. I mean, we had a nice like 2-hour-long conversation. She was just starting a brokerage. And yeah, I spent 3 years with her.
Okay.
And it was amazing. I like got my license. She took me under her wing. I was so grateful for that kind of training. She's old school too, so it was like comfortable for me, comfortable to be with family. Definitely some comfort zone stuff. And after a couple years, it just kind of felt like it was keeping me small, especially when I met her. I was like, she stalked me on Instagram.
I did.
Really?
Wow, she admitted
Why
it.
her?
Why was that? What do you mean, why?
No,
her?
like, why would you like pick a person out
Well,
of
she used to
9,000
train-
or at the time probably 10,000 agents?
Yeah.
She used to
10,000
train
is-
with Jose, my cousin Jose, who also
That's right.
my uncle owns a Muay Thai gym, but so does my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to train with my cousin, and so I don't know
Norfolk
how.
one?
No. He's East
General
Side.
Booth.
Yeah, East Side Muay Thai.
Okay.
And I think I saw her but she jokes about saying that she was doing pie like Popeyes, and I saw that she had tagged at the time it was my cousin's girlfriend, and so I started following her.
I was stealing her business, so she recruited me.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I think I started following her from there. I don't remember, and then I don't know when
She's like, I remember.
Sure.
Whatever. I don't know. I think at that time I was feeling a little like lonely
Same.
in real estate.
Yeah, it can definitely be lonely.
Yeah.
And I am someone when I feel like there's a problem, I try to find a solution. And so my solution was like, okay, well, I should find some friends in real estate. So it was Gina and then our friend Tori as well, Rami Tabin, and our friend Adrian. Who's still at, I'm so bad at the new name, but the Rosenwald Berkshire Hathaway brokerage.
Yeah.
And we went to brunch one day and we clicked and hit it off. And then we started just working together like in a co-working space at Gather.
But you weren't at the same company.
No.
You were both at
We were just vibing and masterminding.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just like, hey, just come work together. We'll just, keep ourselves productive with each other, bounce ideas off each other. And then eventually, we merged to the same brokerage.
And then we left that brokerage.
And then, well, isn't it crazy? You said in the beginning of
You're
this,
funny, yo.
Don't gas
you
me
say
up.
my whole family's here,
hilarious,
but then
so.
also you say like I feel lonely in this, even though your whole family's here.
I mean,
So
yeah.
lonely in the industry, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like the homeschooled agent at this time. I'm not even kidding. My cousin had started a brokerage. There was about 8 agents, and they had like slowly fizzled out for a couple years. And so then it was just me and her. She was already slinging $1 million homes, like doing her thing with her sphere. And I closing 9 deals if I was lucky, like by myself, trying to figure out how to buy leads. It was terrible. And then she saved me.
What are you talking about?
We built a community together.
Yes.
And
Together. There wasn't one or the other.
she's
Well,
so
what'd you guys
modest,
start
it's
doing
annoying.
when you started collaborating, if you will? Like, what led to, hey, we're going to merge and then we're going to switch firms
Just
and be
start a
team?
new team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at first we did the team for convenience because you can't market together unless you're a team.
Mm-hmm.
So it really was supposed to be almost like individual agents that were a team or got a self-organized team.
That's what it was called.
Is what it was called at EXP.
We were pulling resources,
yeah.
throwing events, putting on classes.
And I think eventually, she and I, while we're very different, we're the same in mentality. We also like to share information. Like one of my favorite things in general is training people because I feel like I learn so much when I'm training other people.
Yep.
And I feel like she's the same way.
Just fun.
So it definitely morphed from self-organized to, hey, I think it'd be cool to like have some other people underneath us. And it
I think it was
fulfilled.
more like they came to us though at first, and we were like, I think we could handle this.
Well,
Which I mean was a challenge in and of itself. It was way different. than people
Well, I
were
was just going to ask, how is it now then? What is your take on it now?
It's so much better now because we're at a place that models great teams, great leadership, great training. You guys have amazing resources here in Iron Valley. Shout out.
Thank you.
Whereas before it was like we were on an island trying to figure out everything from
virtual world?
scratch.
The virtual world?
Don't
The
bring
no
it up.
brick and mortar world? Is that
Yeah.
No,
it
but it's
was-
all good. I mean, that's a
was gonna
model
say-
that works for some people.
I think
right?
it was just more so like
you
when
need
you-
people, man.
yeah,
you know?
when you
direction too.
Yeah.
like I tell the
Forward.
girls this, I'm like, if you talk to and be around the people that are doing the things that you want to be doing.
Yes.
Right. And at that point, the people that we were with, while we loved them
That's
and they were
it.
successful, they were successful solo agents. So what were we really trying to model after?
Right.
So we want to be a successful team. We need to be around other successful teams.
The
And
good team structure from the brokerage.
I mean, a team for most is really one of two things. Either you're just going to stay a team forever, or you're going to leave a team and go solo, right? But most team leads become a managing broker or a principal broker or an owner at some point. Most team agents become a solo agent, team lead, right? So there's just like a progression. You guys did the solo thing. You didn't like being alone, so you got together, and then you realized we're better together. Then you build a team, right? And then you have to find a place to house that team. Well, this company was built from a team. That's how it started. Started as a team.
I didn't know that.
And then
that makes sense.
Yeah. Me and Eric were running a team, and then we went to we were like, well, we can either go to another company or start our own company. And then Edgar was running a team when he became an owner, Edwin was running a team when he became an owner, right? You see the trend here?
Yeah.
LJ was running a team when he became an owner. Like, I think the only one that wasn't running a team when they became an owner was Jama, but she was already like
And Julian.
well, yeah, but
came.
just two different arenas, I guess, right? Because you got Julian with the events, but you have Jamo, who's like, she was already like this powerhouse female that other women were already following, just
Which
based
is
on
also,
I can see that.
just based on her
Hey.
numbers alone. Like, you
and
know,
she married her high school sweetheart. She kind of forced married.
forced married? Is that
I'm gonna say it now. She kind of
Man,
pulled them.
That may or may not be relatable.
so? How's the team doing? Obviously, I
They
mean,
got their numbers now.
I
They
think
were tasked.
I'm really proud of us. I don't know if you
Yes.
can tell by my ginormous smile when you
we
asked
actually
that.
just saw, because we didn't realize it on the TVs out there, that we were top settlements in October. We didn't
You didn't
even
even know?
We had no idea. As,
so we just took a
as
picture of
team.
it and just sent it to the group chat.
it's like free marketing, yo. Use it. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
See it.
We didn't see
We
it.
never see the
It's because you
team
were so
stuff.
busy closing.
There we
Damn
go.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what
you
it
see how I
is.
just repackage
There we
anything?
go.
I'll make sure to
We're top
tag you.
settlements,
I
so,
like that.
you know.
I like that.
Just spin it.
Yeah. No. I was about to act a fool out there. I was so excited.
She was, she was like, take a video of me cutting up. but then we're sitting there waiting for it, and it's taking forever.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
I
like very
mean, you know, it's one thing when it's like the competition is stiff here. We'll put it that
Right.
way,
Facts.
right? So if you do make it to that screen, like it is a big deal. You know,
Yeah, it's
there's
not
a lot of
cakewalk.
high performing individuals that you're competing with, right? So it's
I like it.
it's not like you don't have any competition or like it's a
even-
healthy competition,
or
but
even a team. You beat out teams that are like 20 people deep.
right.
Let's
Yeah,
start
so
there.
it's like performance based. You know, it's heavy on like, no, you killed it. Like you wouldn't be up there if you didn't, right? So you should take pride in that.
Oh, we're
Thank
so
you.
excited.
The more you say it, I'm just gassed up over here. But I'm contained by this microphone.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but
if you weren't doing real estate, she would be doing stand up comedy for sure.
But you did your first flip, and so you've been doing rehabs, right?
We both, yeah, I just closed on mine last
on it.
week, actually.
Speak on it.
But let's talk about progression now. Like,
Nothing is ever the way you think it's going to be.
no, that's why I don't.
I was
delete-
hoping that's where this was going.
I'm sorry to laugh so
We-
hard.
but
Just
you
that
have
it's
to,
over now. is
Like
what's
understand
funny.
that we know too. You know, we've both flipped houses, and it's
Yeah.
never what you plan for.
You're a
like you can
fucking
plan,
manager.
but you know, you can't account for everybody else's actions.
No. I definitely just kept telling myself over and over again that this was purely for
Learning.
it was for science. It was for
It's for science.
It was for
Okay,
science.
all right.
Perfect.
So now you have to tell us some of what you dealt with because
Yeah.
you know.
Oof.
Let's tell the people what it really takes
Was
to
it
flip
Tell
a
the
house.
people what they want to hear.
The
Yeah,
contractor,
the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously, we know who the agent was. So
The agent did all she could. I will
Yeah.
stand up right now in business for her. That was
I don't know if
rough.
I can.
You know how they say that a contractor can sink your flip?
Yeah,
Like-
oh yeah,
I think
100%.
yeah,
that's all I'll say.
Oh,
Well,
you had
well,
a
I
case
mean,
of the
I-
touch and goes, like
It
you
was
know.
worse
that's
than
what I
that.
tell people. all the
Touchdown,
time.
pick up a draw, and go.
Those
like,
your
where-
real estate
where's it gonna be
agent
posted?
and your
I
contractor.
know.
Where's it gonna be posted?
We got a lot of family.
There was a lot of snags and miscommunication, and
You're doing good.
You became a
How
general
about this?
manager.
We won't
Dance
call
on
out
it.
any particular thing or any particular person. Mm-hmm. What's the biggest lessons you learned?
when you're doing a flip, no matter how much the person is saying this will be cheaper or better, you stick to the plan that you know that you were trained on to do.
Yes,
Specifically, a draw schedule is there
For
to
a reason.
protect everybody involved.
the investment.
You stick to that.
Yep.
And you follow your gut too, because when you know that that's not what someone's saying and you're trying, you trust somebody, it doesn't matter. It just keeps things cleaner if you just do it by the book, regardless of family, friends, or whatever. I would say that was
Business
the
is
biggest,
business.
Yep, that was the biggest lesson, I think.
Period.
How was yours?
She's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Mine was so smooth.
It was butter.
It was butter.
Learn from me.
She taught me how to do it. I have the best experience.
I
She
love it.
learned from my
So
mistakes.
you learn from the mistakes.
I told
which-
her, I was like,
that's
don't do
great.
this.
No, she did. She did.
Yeah.
I mean,
I definitely got some
that's
good
the best
warnings.
way, though. But that's
God bless her. She's
that's a
always
testament to both of you. One, she's willing to share, but you're willing to learn.
Yeah.
Right? Being coachable is important.
That was our
Also,
favorite thing.
she's willing to even if when I didn't have faith in myself of being able to do it, Imani was like,
You
girl,
got
if
this.
you don't freaking get out there.
Yeah.
She's like, how about this one? This one might be a good one to sharpen your teeth. This one might be a good one. She was like sending me some.
I love
Okay.
I was like, don't you want
That's
to buy
great.
them?
I was like, no, I was
I'm tired.
knee
Yes.
deep in hell. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, no, here, take this, please.
Yes.
Honestly,
I
almost
did
felt
find one that I found. I was excited about
yeah,
that.
and that's the one that you.
It was nice. I had persistence. There was a tenant in there. I should not have gotten it for the price I did, but I got to fight for it. Also,
So
the listing agent was
2020,
great.
2025, are you guys going to move more
Oh, I'm
units?
hoping
Are
for
you-
3.
You're going to 3?
I would love to flip 3 homes.
Just
Okay.
personally.
Yes.
Aside from, obviously, you both represent buyers and sellers, too.
Yeah. And run a team.
Yep.
I would love to do one a quarter. I just gotta. I literally closed on this last month, or not last week. Sorry. So I'm just like, the dust needs
Taking
to
a
settle
breath.
little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Enjoy,
like a-
Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe.
No stress.
Let the blood
figure out
pressure
Q1.
decrease.
that was a nightmare,
I
but
know.
But
it's
it's
here
sold.
for you.
It's done.
it's sold.
we
It is sold.
can move on.
She did amazing.
And I mean, production for your team, what's that looking like for next year? Have you guys come up with those numbers?
We did. They're written down.
A little business planning.
Yes.
I like
we have
business
definitely done
planning.
business planning. Well, we definitely hope for at least 40 mil
Yeah.
in volume.
I like it.
Solid.
Personally, I didn't think you were going to say that.
Oh,
But I like it.
Oh, you thought we
No.
were weak?
Oh,
I can't.
I know. I
I
was like, what did you
can't.
think
He
we were
doubting
gonna
y'all.
say?
I know.
No.
No, Edgar doesn't doubt us. I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, I like it. Like, I really do like it because I was like, they're going to be conservative.
Nah, we're here for it.
No, we're
Okay.
not.
In fact,
I
if
was
we
thinking
hit
we're not that
50,
way.
someone had an amazing idea. If we hit 50 and incentivize our team, we're going to take them on a cruise.
It really wasn't my idea. We talked to Eric, and he told about how he incentivizes.
Shout out, Eric.
Yeah.
Shout out, Eric.
Thank you,
And I was
Eric.
like, that would be really cool, and we figured a cruise would be pretty easy. They leave out of Norfolk, and
Yeah, 2025, they're back.
They're back.
I can tell you, it's definitely cheaper than all-inclusive resorts. For
Yeah, but somebody doesn't want to do a cruise. But
Oh.
I don't.
is it because you were in the Navy?
I spent most of my life on
That's
the water.
literally every Navy person I know. Is like,
But they're
"Oh,
great. They're
On a
great.
cruise.
They're always
Yeah.
I've never been.
It's just like,
It's different.
I
Have you
get
been on
seasick.
an actual cruise?
I don't even like walking on board boats at this point. Like, for real. Like, honestly.
I can
Like,
understand that.
I feel like I can enjoy music or Cirque du Soleil or whatever the hell else they got
They have
going
that
on
on
out there.
You do. You don't even know you're on a boat unless
On
you go look
land.
out
Casino.
the window. Or
Yeah, but you get walk there.
I don't know. I'd rather travel, man. Like how we've been doing it. Is it more?
Alaskan cruise.
ooh,
I feel like that's been really incentivizing, though. Like, as soon as I got over here, I was like, I better make that trip next year.
More-
Good.
I was gonna say.
I'm going
I
to go
was
knock
like,
on all the doors.
I'm a little better.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you know what the numbers were, but rules are
She
rules.
crushed it in a
She
shorter
did. You
amount of
did.
time.
You did. You would have.
That's all I'm
So
saying.
close.
I know.
No, she showed up after the.
Oh, the
start date.
timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a,
No, she
I was
definitely
quite a
hit
bit
the
above
numbers.
the threshold.
Yeah, she hit
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
numbers.
But we're not
Yep.
here since October, so.
But then
So
you
you
get to
can't
watch more
go?
people that show up and be like, oh, you're not going either? Yeah, that was me last year.
That was
I know
But,
the feeling.
I mean, for the top 25 to be starting where it's starting, to the point of earlier, when you see your face on the screen, you should be proud,
Right.
facts.
Gina, I think
can't
you'll
help
be
it.
there.
You know
Like,
what?
Yeah.
I think so, too.
because, I mean, it started in October already.
Yeah.
So you got to
Good
remember
sales.
that. It already started.
And that was my best month.
Good.
Facts.
There you go.
But,
How many do you have in October?
it's ran that way, though, so we can plan it properly, right? Like, we had to put it on the fiscal year, so we had a few months to set it up.
Yeah, we found this out, obviously, with planning with hotels. They're like, you need to start, if you're bringing a big group, we want to know this 6 months prior,
Yeah.
4 months, depending on the
Yep.
resort. So we need to know these numbers. So we decide October. And I think leaving in February is the best thing also. It's like one of our coldest months here.
I mean, selfishly, it's like my annual vacation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's
but
great.
you get to hang out with like-minded, high-performing people the entire time. And, I think that's, and not for nothing,
wait.
there needs to be some competition. Like not everybody gets a trophy.
Competition is healthy.
Yeah, I like that.
I think so.
I like to work hard, and I like accolades
Right.
a lot.
Well, one thing we like to ask everybody, and I'll ask you guys or ladies individually, in 5 years, where do you see yourself? More kids?
No, we're
Ooh.
done.
Oh,
No, we're
straight
done.
to the kids.
We're
Would you ask a
done.
man that question?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been his first question to any man, but keep going.
You should watch when we
Keep
interviewed Julian.
going.
I was like, you got like 8 kids, bro. You want more?
He said, "Okay, Nick Cannon." Okay, sorry, keep going.
Oh no.
I mean, you got a
Nick
team.
Cannon.
We still be in team. We be investing out of real estate.
Definitely still want the team with this one, obviously. I would like to get more into investing. Not just flips, but I really want my own like rental portfolio. So I'm hoping by, the next 5 years I have quite a few under my belt. I would love to do that thing that people do where they buy a property per child,
That's what I'm doing.
Is that what
Yes.
you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I just think that's so smart. So by then, I definitely would like to. I still want to be in production. I love this. Now, granted, in 5 years, I don't know. Maybe I'll be like, oh, I don't want to be in production. I want to just focus on the team and, get revenue in other ways through real estate. But right now, I feel like I would want to still be producing. But I would like to do where like maybe 80% is my own, and then the other 20% is purely my own investment properties that I'm acquiring.
What about you?
Similar. I don't want to be in a team. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, I had to mess with her.
So rude.
I definitely want to have the team. I don't know what it will look like at that point. I don't know. I feel like the team has so much potential. Like, I think it could be
I agree.
pretty big, or everybody on there just crushing it. And I'm definitely down to stay as hands-on, like with the team. I love that stuff. It's really fun. It's just amazingly fun and rewarding. But as far as production, obviously I like to stay busy, so I'd be down to stay in production. But I would like to have something like a good partnership with like a showing agent or something like some of you guys have, which I don't think I would have ever have considered back in the day, because I'm like, if you're not physically there, how are you providing value, like all that stuff. But I'm definitely seeing that you definitely can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think like showing a house is not hard.
Right.
It's not.
It's not.
The stuff that we do in the field actually has nothing to do with our business acumen when it comes to writing a contract, negotiating, doing property research, all the things that actually matter in your deal.
Right.
They don't take place driving around in a car
connections.
or showing a door, like as long as you're at the consult and you're engaged when you're needed, that is your value. You want to be so valuable that people understand that it can come in these spurts.
Right.
You call me when there's a real problem. We'll get it handled. Like, that's how valuable each of you are, right? So, and it gives you your time back. So the time that either of you are in the street could be poured back into your team or your people, or
Your
more
family.
prospecting, more business, your family, that trip you want, whatever it is. It's all about leverage, right? So
at what point did you find that you were like, okay, I need a showing agent in order to get to the next level?
So we were at about 70 agents. I was doing like 12 to 17 transactions a month, just me and a TC, while running this company, recruiting, signing agents, going to all the events, doing all the things.
All the trainings.
Yep, all the trainings. Yeah, I mean, I was doing Friday morning training like way before Peak Performance existed, or we had new partnerships and things like that. Like, we've always kind of hung our hat on training people. That's how I started growing in real estate in general, was just helping people that asked me for help. And now, obviously, you all see what that's turned into at this point. But it was at that point where I was like, how can I focus on the company? Because once the company grows like that, like, you can't just focus on your business. It's not, the company will die. You know, you got to kind of like pick one. So for me, it was like, sacrifice some income, but don't lose the passive revenue, right? Or my sales credibility. Like, I'm still heavily engaged in these transactions, but I'm not in the street per se for every single client. Like, but then you also have to have discernment. Like, if it's my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, that doesn't, I'm going to handle that. If it's a personal deal of mine, like I own it, like, I'm not just going to, hey, come do this for me. You know what I mean? But as far as prospecting and meeting new business, there's nothing wrong with sitting at a consult and saying, this is why we do it this way. This is the value that it offers. By the time you guys get home, I can have the offer written. You guys are in the house discussing if you like it or not. I can be doing a CMA. I can let you know if you need flood insurance. I can have already spoken to your loan officer and get you an estimate. Like, this is my competitive advantage.
That's nice.
You see what I'm saying?
So smart.
But you have to convey that value to the person that you're servicing so they understand, like, it's not you're not wanting to be there. It's that I'm actually more valuable elsewhere. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And those agents are learning too. Like, that gives them an opportunity to develop sales skills that I already have. But discernment, you're going to hear that word a lot, especially you as team leads. Like, you have to know when somebody's fumbling that bag too.
Right.
Like, if they've been out with a client 5-6 times and they've seen every firehouse on the market in their price range and they haven't written an offer yet, that's a skill problem.
There's a narrative.
You know, but when I started with showing agents, I didn't just like teach them in an office. LJ started as a showing agent of mine. Dalen obviously is my current showing agent, but Breland started as a showing agent of mine. Like, you have to be in the field with these people. LJ has been to listing appointments with me. These guys have sat in buyer consultations with me. Like, it wasn't always where it is now, right? Like, and even my current showing agent, that's a 2-year relationship. Like, I don't run a team. Well, yeah, I have a team now too, actually. So, but it's super small and it's very targeted. But yeah, it's leverage. But they're only as good as you train them to be. So, yeah, that's we call it OJT in the military.
Yeah.
On the job training. Because, like, what's paperwork mean? What's a PowerPoint mean? What, like, they didn't teach any of you how to sell real estate when you went to real estate school.
They sure didn't.
You know what I mean? So you have to go experience that. And if you're going to be my showing agent, my value to you is, one, I know how to prospect and convert a lead, which means I could show you. But two, because of that business, now you're going to learn how to actually transact business. But again, you get me in the background with just thousands of broker transactions at this point. I don't even know. We put out fires every single day, all day. That's what we do. And they're usually not mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but that's why it was like, how can I service the company and still be in business? Because I don't believe that you can actually train people on what we do if you're not actively doing it, because our business changes so much. So I wanted to stay in business and obviously flourish where I flourish, which is the leadership piece, right? But the business, you have to master that first. Like, you have to master a transaction. You have to master the art of a deal before you can transact it as like a shadow. You know what I mean? Because you have to be able to know it so well that you can teach it. And once you can teach it, you have to teach enough people to where, like, 80-20, right? 80% of people in real estate don't make it. Yeah. So I might have ran through 10 showing agents to get one good one, right? 2 good ones. So, and those people grow and move on too, right?
Right.
So,
and that's the other thing. I think that's where they're at right now, where they're learning as team leads is, okay, who's going to work, who's not.
Yeah, who really wants it?
It kind of sucks, but you do have to kind of filter that out. Yep. And everybody, I think, starts with, you want to be nice. And in some scenarios, you just can't.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yes.
Well, it's back to her point. Business is business, right? Like, you took whatever took place, you take that on the chin, you keep moving forward, you know?
Yeah.
There are no losses, just lessons.
And don't take it personal either.
No, absolutely not. That's where they fail all the time.
Yeah.
But, like, even when you guys just first got here and you're calling me, like, I'm sorry, Edgar, we have this issue. It's like,
off the rip.
I tell people all the time, stop apologizing.
Rip.
Like,
what's the issue?
Especially if you're apologizing for other people's actions.
Yeah. And it wasn't, and it was the buyer was told that job, but
yeah,
it really was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he took it now. So.
He sure did.
For not listening.
An expensive L.
And I mean,
Isn't
and that was a
you...
perfect scenario if somebody didn't want representation and put it in writing.
Yeah, he sure did. Stupid.
That's exactly the scenario. No, I don't need to be represented by y'all. Okay,
fantastic.
Cool.
Have a good day.
You just cost yourself
a $250,000. It was $250,000 basically.
Oh yeah, because he had to
wow.
He had to close on it.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he closed on it.
Better than kissing away. What was it, 10 or 20 grand?
Well, and I also had a relationship with the other agent.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know what happened after that. After we
get an agent,
we'll talk about it after. Yeah, get representation.
People.
And
all you need to know is you gave it to Edgar and job finished.
Yeah,
because that's what Edgar does.
Yeah.
Well, that went to attorney. You know,
yeah.
Good
Facts.
attorney.
Yeah, but
Edgar from our agent went to us. Then we tossed it to Edgar.
It was like,
then we bring the legal team.
There's a little gray area here, but I don't think it's looking good.
Good old chain of command.
There's levels, man. You know.
Yes.
Obviously, I already have history with you. I always thought you were great, and I also was stalking her. Like, how is she doing now, right?
I would too.
I actually did not know that. That's flattering.
Well, that's part of the job description now.
True.
right? So we're looking at agents, and obviously I saw you guys killing it, and I think you guys are going to be great. And I know you got some big aspirations for next year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, honestly, like you guys could be on the trip following year. Let's just start there.
Oh, no, I want both.
Yeah.
I want both. I don't have kids. I'd be working.
No, I like it. You said that.
I did.
Because I'd be
say that.
questioning, you ain't got no kids.
I'd be
What the fuck are you doing?
I don't have kids, and I work every single day.
She's smart as hell. Just want to throw that out there.
Thank you. Random compliment. I'll take that.
Here's something else.
You've been complimenting me this entire podcast, and I was like, God, I need
You're
an
my best
opening.
friend.
I need an
I
opening.
need an opening.
Well, here's a question we kind of
Shut your
throw
mouth,
at
Gina.
all our guests. Any questions that you ladies have for us? Any questions?
The point of the showing agent was definitely that, because thinking of our goals, like even just for next year, it's like eventually, and by eventually I probably mean in a couple years, like I'm hoping I'm going to be there, you know?
Yeah.
Assuming I'm going to be there, let's put it that way.
Well, I think the biggest part that people miss on that whole piece is like you have to be selfless too. Like you're going to lose income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to take a pay cut to have that leverage, right? Yeah. So, but in theory, you would either be working less or producing more, right? One of the two. Like either I'm getting time back or I'm seeing more numbers. For me, the biggest benefit is the time you get back. If I wasn't running that type of business model, I would have never been a managing broker or a principal broker or trained other people in those facets, or now even look now, writing, speaking, like getting a certified training program, getting certified as a training instructor, licensing that program. Like how would I possibly have time to do all that if I didn't have leverage, right? And the leverage is in the people. The leverage is in the Loris and the Edgars and the Edwins and the Dalens and the, you know, the admin staff and the Christies with all these superhuman skills that I don't possess. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of tools around us.
You know I'm going to ask next.
What?
Did you guys get the data?
We're gonna.
Oh my gosh.
We're like,
yes,
we're knocking out a lot of homework like
Okay.
every single day right
We have a
now.
Gotcha.
happy hour
We're
coming up.
restructuring.
We've been on the
Friend.
business plan, bro.
Coach
Rolling-
Edgar over here. I love it.
We're
Hold them
rolling.
accountable.
We're
Dial
rolling.
numbers.
Hey, prestige, man. We've
It's
been on
our-
it. Don't
it's
worry.
written down as one of the things that we need to do. 'Cause we've already talked to her once, but you know, now we're like, okay, no, we actually
Now, because we are restructuring, we're figuring out what we might need from
Yeah,
that.
systems and processes, right?
Well, it's that, and it also runs into other things that we teach, right? Most brokerages won't teach you. Like, hey, these
Building
numbers, you can
business.
leverage your business with those other relationships you're working with.
And you're not going to be able to plan properly without knowing that data, right?
I think the challenge, just kind of sitting and listening through this, is not knowing. It's not that we don't know that we will need this stuff. Is I think trying to decipher when we will need it, right? If we're ready for certain steps, ready
Right.
for
That's why I
certain
need that
things.
so we could talk about that. That's kind of the next meeting.
I am so weak. He said, "Get your shit together, ladies. We got."
Yeah. What did I tell you? I could
We
give you
got
the
stuff
numbers,
to
but I
do.
don't want to. Like, you need to show up with it.
I'm so.
Well, what are you
weak.
guys compiling? Like where the business is coming from?
Buyers,
how many buyer
sellers,
side?
yeah.
How many seller
Who
side?
went to what
Yeah,
title?
yeah.
Lenders, blah, blah, blah. Or
Yeah.
how many
We
are,
have a
are
lot of
in
that
state, out of state?
started. Just
Yeah.
saying. We
But
do
that's
have a
going to
lot of
help
good
you business
relationships.
plan, right? Like if you all have this aspiration of 40 million, which isn't a weak number, you know, the business plan is only going to help you achieve that, you know?
Yeah. It's not a lot of agents for 40 mil. So
Yeah. What's your agent count right now?
Including us at 8.
Yeah. 40 million. You can do that. Absolutely.
Here for it,
I mean, the two of you are half of it.
especially her.
No, but I mean, really, you both have the ability to do 10 to 12 million,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, and if you can teach through that on the job training and be in the field with that small group, that's the advantage of a team versus a large brokerage, right? I can't at this point go out and train everybody in the field. But that's like how we started. Like everybody was on a team and we taught those people. And then when we would sign new agents, they got a lot more of an intimate experience side by side with somebody that was doing it at a high level. You can still provide that experience at your size, right? That's why we had to become more systematic. Like, man, we need a training program. We need training calendars. We need a schedule. We need different types of training. We need different locations for it. Like,
Yeah,
you
even
guys
now.
still have
Y'all
the...
crush it.
team lead broker branch. That's something different.
That was amazing.
We loved that.
We loved it so much.
Yeah, well, and the idea, too, is like I want to do that because I think everything very militant. Like, when you're in the military, the skipper does captain's call, and they break it down from the lowest level to the mid-level to the highest tier, like so they can field from each perspective. Like, and that's really my goal there was let's get all the team leads and the associate brokers together, because you all really run the company, and people don't think about that. But the team leads, especially at a firm like ours, where there's a lot of teams, like you all are the branches that are touching all the people, right? Like, so if I can be on the same page with all the associate brokers and all the team leads and push out the same vision and mission through you all to your people, versus me, Edgar, or Jama or Lori or somebody trying to talk to 340 people
Right.
every day,
Hit
which
everybody
is like,
one-on-one.
that's like not possible. That's why we broke up the one-on-ones, right? Like, if you're at these offices, you go sit with Edwin. If you're over here, you come to me. If you're at Prestige, you go to Edgar. Like, because it's in the people. Like, it's in the people. You want your team to do 40 million? They have to learn what you're doing. The easiest way is to physically, like, they're there, they see it, they hear it, they learn from it. That's how they learn. That's the easiest way for people to learn. But we're at a point where, like, it can't come from us. It has to come from y'all. You know what I mean? So, but that's why we started there. And then we want to do like the mid-level solo producers, and then like the new to business, because everybody should know that they contribute to the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Thank you for joining us. Hope everybody gets to enjoy this podcast. Please sign up, subscribe, hit the link below, Your Peak Life Podcast. All right, ladies, thank you.
Yay.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for everything.